Ryan, why don't you pull up Amazon's margins real quick?
Well, yeah, I'd have more of a grin on my face than Stephen Hawking on Epstein's Island.
I'm off as a smug cock when you said that.
Wow, physical philosophy, you're not very smart at all. You screw up, cash flow kings. Dissector, you are an idiot.
Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, and it happens to be Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And at Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, you could be doing a wide range and variety of activities that may or may not come back to your lifestyle. Now, Fiscal, what are some of these activities you could be doing at Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern? Let's just say are not on the right side of the aisle.
Well, you could be drinking absinthe and hallucinating.
Ooh,
pretty rough, right?
Good.
You could be on a ketamine-fueled rampage against the president when you were best friends last week. You never know.
Nothing
you could
wrong with
very
a
much.
ketamine.
You could very much be regretting your tweets and saying, "So, I regret some of the things I said last week." You don't want to be doing that.
We've never put out anything controversial on our Twitter, which is Cashflow Kings YT on X, if you haven't already followed. And wow, we have Seymour Duck already starting the night off pretty hot here. He is a 9-month channel member, and Fiscal in 9 months. What could you be spending possibly $2 a month on? That's like $18 total. Not combine the other that he buys for the people.
When you said 9 months, the first thing I thought was, oh, that's about the time it takes to bring a pregnancy to term.
Yep.
So, and Seymour Duck has, in a sense, been carrying us for the last 9 months, being a contributing member, all the gifted memberships,
all the finances that he's provided to us.
So
doesn't go underappreciated. Yeah.
Seymour is, in a sense, a founding father of the child that is the Cashflow King,
the cash generating machine that we have. By the way, we're only like $9 away from our next payout, so you guys know what to do tonight. We're only in it for a quick buck, so at least we're honest with our intent.
It'll offset like a quarter of what we just spent on the. You notice the StreamYard thing has been upgraded.
Yeah, finally our show actually looks professional for the first time in like 2 months, and we have comments in the bottom right. So, we're gonna see how that goes. People could be saying some controversial things. We may need to retract that. So, but for the time being, enjoy it.
Always willing to experiment here.
Yes, on the Cashflow Kings. Okay, Fiscal, tonight's topic is about outperforming because we are both outperforming the stock market. I wasn't really paying attention to my performance, and I was shocked. I was shocked to have been outperforming this year, Fiscal. The times are good on the Cashflow Kings. I'm spitting out money left and right. Every morning I wake up and piss $10, it seems like.
Yeah, that's free money, basically. So, yeah, I mean, it has been a relative. I mean, granted, the market hasn't been very strong.
It's been rational. Let's be honest. It's been rational. For the first time in a bit, it's been a little rational.
Yeah, there have been some pullbacks, I think, in some things that needed to pull back.
Tesla.
Surprisingly, though, like if you were to ask me what companies, like in the let's say the S&P 500, let's say we agree that it's overvalued. If you were to ask me, what are the companies that are really contributing the most to that, I'd probably pretty much answer the same as I would have last year, at least in a couple of instances. Like I'd probably say like Apple and Tesla are the top two that I think don't need to have the market cap that they have. And now granted, they've had some dips. I don't know if they're still down or not because the regards always seem to pump them, but
okay, talking about the regards, I think that's a very good. Oh no, retire on dividends is gonna love this new feature in the bottom right. We'll see how long that goes for. We'll talk about Aria tonight because we have a very Uber is definitely gonna Uber and Tesla. Those two are that comparison is stupid.
But no, actually, all right. So Apple down 21% year to date.
Okay, good. Oh, that's so. I mean, it was ridiculously overpriced.
So just not having the SPY and considering how big a part Apple is in the SPY. And Tesla down 16% year to date. So, and those are two of the top, what are they still top 7, top 10, whatever it is
top 7,
after those drawdowns?
Yeah.
If two of the top stocks are down that much, then just having individual investments that haven't gone down is like you're beating the market pretty much.
Well, we are professionals here on the Cash Flow Kings, and of course,
Yeah.
for $2 a month, that channel membership, you're going to get all of our secret picks. Definitely, it's not like we publicly talk about our stocks. What kind of channel I think you're coming to in that case? But yeah, on the topic of regards, Grab has been sneaky, pretty good one for me, like the last couple of months. But it's
down a little bit though.
It's on a bit of a dip now.
Yeah.
Are you aware like why this dip is happening? I think it's down like 10% just from my math of watching the stock in my brokerage. It is down about 10% over the last 6 months, and over the last month it's down 12% specifically. So,
well, I mean, its price is going to move maybe a little bit easier than its big brother Uber. So the last day where you had asked me like, hey, why is it down today? Uber was down like 1.5%, and Grab was down like 2.5% or something like that. I think that that's pretty normal on a day when Uber is down. That Grab might also be down, but just by a slightly bigger amount.
Wasn't there some sort of acquisition or something though that?
So
they're raising money.
All I'm aware of is that they were, and this was an Amit tweet. That they're apparently raising like $1.5 billion financing for something, but don't know what it is. Though there has been talk about them possibly making acquisitions of some of their like regional, like local smaller competitors and gobbling them up, so to speak. Like Uber did the same thing. Have you ever heard of an app called Postmates?
Good old Postmates, yes.
Yeah. So Uber owns Postmates. I don't know if.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a similar thing. Like you had at one point you had Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Postmates, and there's still like some like Grubhub and stuff like that. But yeah, Uber went ahead and acquired Postmates a few years ago, and I think Grab, considering that Uber's president is on their board of directors and how involved they are, probably they're just mirroring similar strategies.
Yeah.
So if they have other smaller services that are, semi-competitors, and they can get them at a good price and get those users into their ecosystem, makes sense, right?
Yeah. That entire industry is not a bad one to be in. The whole delivery and transportation.
Yeah, and Grab did release some of their numbers, and I think there was like a ton, like 19 or 20% growth year over year in like rides and such in April and May.
Yeah,
which I don't know why they released that outside of earnings, but they did for some reason. So that's an interesting insight.
Yeah, and the whole dip on, if it's true that Uber was down like 3%, I think it was somebody during the week, because Tesla's robotaxi, that was a really good.
Yeah,
I would have liked to buy it, but like I'm up a lot, so it's like
the funny thing about that, and actually, if it is like full self-driving that maybe caused Uber to pull back a little bit, I could see people also being afraid with Grab. But the funny thing is, you're as close as you might think we are in the US to robo-taxis like taking over the streets here. The places where Grab operates, you are so much further away.
Yeah.
You hear people talking about, oh, it's going to disrupt Uber in the next 5 or 10 years. Grab, it would be like 15 or 20 at the minimum. You will not, you could not have a Waymo. I'm convinced you could not have like a Waymo or a robotaxi operate on the streets of Manila profitably.
Yeah. It
just would never happen.
You're already seeing stuff that like...
Yeah.
Okay, Dividend Dude did say something this week about about Uber and how its long-term thesis is completely like cooked. So I think it's appropriate to bring it up, which I will do right now. We have Gillen here who is enjoying himself. Okay. Dividend Dude said, so is Uber just fried right now long term? Is self-driving just going to make them obsolete? Lower prices and safer rides. People will just pick that, no? If Tesla's doing it or someone else. Am I crazy? I've been saying Uber had a chance of just going obsolete, and that's why I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
That's the entire tweet. Ari's response was the funniest thing I saw all of yesterday. Oh boy. The tweet is up.
So, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So, I think I do think that's kind of funny, Aria, with the oh boy. So lower prices, safer rides, like
where,
like when's it happening? Every time they're like, oh yeah, it's coming next week. It's like, never mind.
Yeah, it's Tesla. From my understanding, Tesla's just all talk, no walk. Like
yes, Waymo is actually out there and
Waymo is
operating
valid.
Right. I even have seen them on the streets here where I live. So yeah, Waymo, there's something there, and that, by the way, that's Google. So
and there's a partnership underlying there. So
yeah, I have, for the sake of clarity, I have a pretty sizable amount of both Uber and Google in various forms or fashions and accounts. So I think there's first of all, there's room for there to be success in driverless, but it doesn't mean that cars with actual drivers are going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
There are bottlenecks and things like that. And my understanding with Uber is the argument is, of course, that they've got the best distribution.
Yeah.
Which I think there is something to be said for that. Especially like if you do get multiple driverless options, the one that's on Uber is going to get more people using it. So it, like, let's say you had Tesla and Waymo and whoever else all had their own robotaxi thing. Who the fuck wants to download like 3 different apps for different rides to like see who's going to get there the fastest? They would want them all in one place, and Uber still seems like the most logical place for all of them to be.
Yeah.
And even though, to my understanding, they shelved the project, Uber did at one point have their own driverless cars that they were testing. I rode in one in 2018. It physically happened. Saw it with my own 2 eyes.
It's like an IG reel.
People saying like, "Oh, these are going to put Uber out." Like, Uber could probably pick that back up if, and I think part of it was they were wanting more clarity on like the regulations and everything around it.
Yeah.
So maybe once some of those like liability and insurance and other types and local regulations, federal regulations, and that stuff get sorted out, maybe they bring that back off the shelf, and maybe there's an Uber driverless option along with the Waymo and the Tesla and the regular like Uber X or whatever with a human driver.
Yeah, Uber's like, I think they already have a really good like brand and kind of reputation. It's, people literally will say, it sounds stupid. It's like from a Dividend Date video. People will say, I'm going to go Uber from the airport. They don't say, let's call somebody, let's get a taxi. It's where we're going to get an Uber back. It's like I think they have a significant advantage when it comes to like the brand and reputation that they already have, where I think there's a lot of people that are just going to naturally assume Uber with driving and not really consider other options. I think Tesla is all talk, no walk. Fundamentals aren't good. It's entire it's all built off hype. I think Elon is extremely bipolar. I wouldn't like him in charge of my company personally. And yeah, I don't hate the guy. I thought his time during the presidency is funny. Like, it was fun seeing his kid pick his nose, and as a CEO, I think it's just a stupid company to invest in, and I wouldn't feel comfortable with him in charge of my money.
Yeah, he's not what you would call a stable genius. That's for sure.
Oh, we got double D's in here. What a welcome sight. We were just talking about your questionable Uber take. Literally,
yeah.
we are talking about it. So go back.
Uber.
Yeah, in 11 months as a day one channel member, we can't.
Wow. Talk about OGs.
Help but not acknowledge that. Well said.
Almost 1 year. Wow. We'll have to have like a 1 year channel membership anniversary party or something in a month.
Yeah. Yep. Well said. Uber's the Kleenex of ride ordering. Yeah. Well said.
Interesting comparison.
Let's not get a tissue. Let's get a Kleenex.
Yeah.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, for sure. To some people, every aluminum can with a fizzy drink in it is a Coke.
Yeah. That's well said.
Yeah.
And that makes it always a buy.
It does. So Uber, by extension, Uber is always a buy, no matter what the price is.
But Uber, that's definitely been one of the companies. If you got in like sub 70.
By the way, just an aside, I don't think robotaxis are going to disrupt the food delivery anytime soon either.
What are you talking about? They're going to have Elon Musk personally hand deliver.
Are they going to have Optimus Prime go out of the driverless car, go in the store, pick up the food, bring it back to the car, and then
no, what they'll do is they'll have Elon do a campaign for him, and Elon will hand deliver the first one inside of the self-automation, and then the stock will go up 9% on the day. Will go down 4%. Yeah.
Optimus robots they're gonna be selling $1 trillion a year worth very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Some guy on Twitter said it, so it's gonna be true.
Obviously. What Evolution Gaming, should we talk about that? Because I feel like that's kind of been a lagger, but I feel like that's the only company I've really bought in a while.
Yeah, they were good for a minute. The market didn't like their earnings.
Yeah. I'm pulling it up right now.
And that was down to the regulated versus unregulated stuff. That whole shtick.
Oh, yeah.
Which they're kind of backing out of more of the unregulated stuff in favor of doing more of the regulated stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm down a few $100.
Yeah, I'm down for full transparency. Only on this Cashflow Kings, I'm currently down only like 6.5%, $140. And it is currently the sixth or seventh largest holding in the portfolio. It's 5%. So, I mean, I'm happy with it. I was happy when I saw that like $80 dividend I got a few weeks ago. I got free money, right?
Yeah, it was taxed a ton, but
yeah. Management fees, foreign fees,
ADR this, ADR that. Disney's been doing quite well.
Yeah, Disney. That's it's been a contester or kind of been a hidden one there. I've considered trimming, but I didn't do it because I have diamond hands.
Yeah. Now, granted, yeah, like we're talking about 6.5%, but when things like Apple are down 20%, like I'd rather have. I know, like that was a good opportunity to.
You could have made a 44% return in.
It's funny because I did when it was down in the 80s. I did have like a couple like cash secured puts sold. Made a few $100s in premium on them, but I almost would have rather gotten assigned. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Still have my shares.
That's rough. I'll be honest, because my entire thinking during that whole crash was like I was buying SAG very heavy, and I was buying Amazon very heavy. Those were like the two. I thought those were pretty good opportunities, and I mean they proved to be. But 40% would have been a nice return.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think this is just proving that buying Disney under 100, it's really hard to go wrong.
Yeah. My only issue is I feel like brand wise and reputation wise, they're gonna find some way to fuck up. I don't know how, but I just have a gut feeling, and it's probably just from owning the stock since 2020, where I'm used to it. But like, ugh, not too confident. I feel like it's one of the weaker companies in the portfolio too, but it is kind of a turnaround play, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I think they're doing fine. I mean, granted, like I saw, I'm a sucker for watching different takes on things, and somebody did this whole video on why Disney Plus is the worst streaming service in existence. Basically,
I wonder what they looked like.
I don't know.
Hello, Disney's
but it had nothing to do with an investment perspective, though.
Oh.
They were just trying to make a point about Disney Plus, like way undershooting what it theoretically should.
Yeah.
And they use like the ratings of a lot of the stuff that they've put out and like how much money they spent on things, and then the views that some of their shows have gotten compared to Netflix, and it was a pretty interesting point. They had Daredevil Born Again. I don't know if you are familiar with Daredevil.
No.
So it's an MCU show. Netflix did the original 3 seasons of Daredevil back in the day, and then Disney obviously acquired Marvel and stuff, and then took that stuff from Netflix, and they've done some continuations of that. And I really enjoyed the old Netflix Daredevil, and I actually did end up happening to see Daredevil Born Again when I was browsing, and I watched it because I was like, oh, I didn't even know they had a new season of this. That's amazing. And I thought it was pretty good, but I think maybe just the fact that I hadn't even heard of it when it first came out, they must be doing something wrong with like the marketing or something. I don't think, having seen it, that it's because it was just bad compared to the previous seasons or anything. So I don't know.
Yeah. One of the new kind of groups that really pissed me off are the far right Republicans who always bitch at Disney. That's really starting to piss me off for like no reason. And this is coming from somebody who has voted Republican before in the past when it comes to like local and other federal elections. I'm not saying who I voted for, but get the gist. But I think you got to be like critical of both sides, and it is fucking embarrassing seeing these people on Twitter with trucker hats and white women in their 40s bitching about like a fucking Disney movie. I'm sorry for swearing before 9 p.m. It is one of the most stupid things I've seen, and it's just like it's completely what's the word when you're critical of something but do it? I'm blanking out on it.
Hypocritical.
Oh yeah, it's insanely hypocritical. You're talking about people being woke and people being soft and stuff, and you got people like Man of Destiny coming on the stream on episode 32 being like, oh, where I'm from, we say these things and it's not and like, but you're bitching about a TV show that's made for kids and like you care that much. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, that's my rant.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, people have always had like certain people have always had that view of Disney. There used to be in the 90s, people had this thing against Disney because they're like too accepting of gays. Was the
Bob Iger is a closeted homosexual. Like,
yeah. Like it was considered, I don't know. And I don't even really know how true it was or anything at that time, but that was like the big underground secret thing. Like, oh, Disney secretly is okay with gay people. Like they're like, that was the thing that they were hating on them for. Now it's, they're, I don't know.
Yeah.
I disagree with this.
I think it's been pretty successful. They're making good money.
They're trying to recruit your kids into a different lifestyle or something.
They're trying to queer out the kids. Like,
and no, they're not really. They pander a little bit. That's
not disputed. That's
the thing where they do all this stuff, like this inclusion stuff, but it comes off as like not very authentic.
Yeah, it's like,
And that would be where I would criticize it. It's when it feels forced and doesn't feel authentic.
yeah,
Even the people that like you're including are gonna just feel kind of patronized because you're basically putting up like a caricature of them.
Yeah.
In the thing instead of making it authentic.
Disney is not true. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
We were talking about, I mean, it makes money, so I guess but like the quality kind of sucks. Mandalorian was good. We were actually talking about on Discord. Andor is supposedly rated really good. I haven't really watched it though.
The prequel trilogy.
Prequels were great.
Yeah, the prequel over the sequel trilogy. So
oh yeah, sequels suck. Nobody.
Yeah, give me 20-minute out of pocket pod racing scene and you know, do it and all the memes and stuff from the prequels over whatever it was we got in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, I mean they made money though, but after the Force
they
Awakens,
were fun.
it seemed
I
like
will
a
admit,
shit show.
I saw at least one of them, maybe two of them in theaters, and like visually and like sound wise and stuff, it's a fun experience to see all the laser blasters and lightsabers and stuff in the theaters, right? Like it's always a spectacle. But yeah, they're
storytelling. It's like
they're not necessarily the spiritual successors of the originals. Yeah.
The put a chick in it and make it gay joke, definitely. It's a little true. Kathleen Kennedy, I thought she already went. I'm going to fact check that because I thought she was gone. No, the prequels were great. I thought she stepped down.
The main thing, though, with that Disney's done, I think, wrong with Star Wars is they've pushed too much Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
so many like spin-off movies and this and that. They should just focus on a limited amount. Like if you just overload and flood everybody with tons of Star Wars, there are some hardcore people that'll just buy all of it, but the general public is eventually going to get fatigued with it. And you're eventually going to hurt your ROI on those projects.
Mm-hmm. From my understanding, I think the other sequel or other movie titles that they have are doing better than Star Wars for them right now. Like if I saw somewhere where it was like the top 10 movies today are produced by Disney. I'm sure Seymour Duck's on it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So I'm pulling it up right now.
My personal take for Disney is they should do more Marvel animated stuff like X-Men 97 because it's like budget wise, it costs less than something like The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And people will be satisfied with like 12, 30-minute episodes of their favorite Marvel characters.
Yeah.
And if the animation quality and stuff is good, it'll hold up. People will go and rewatch the stuff over and over again. And, voiceovers, again, cheaper than like having to reshoot whole scenes and stuff like that. Yeah. So they can really save on production costs, but put out a pretty good amount of content and it's not hard to do 12, 30-minute episodes and like actually release every single year instead of these like huge things where it's a huge project and you end up waiting forever for the next season to come out.
Yeah.
They should lean more into that, but
I agree.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So this was sent by Seymour Duck during the week, and these are basically the top, top movies. Yeah, I didn't look at the context. It was tweet is narrative I keep hearing is that nobody watches Disney. Blaze Nielsen chart says otherwise. 6 out of 10 are top. Basically what people have been watching from Disney and our Bluey. Hulu, obviously Disney owns Hulu, so Grey's Anatomy, Criminal Minds, The Rookie, and The Secret Wives of Mormon Lives, which I know that you're a big fan of, Fiscal.
Oh, you know it. I got binders full of women.
Yes, but yeah, Disney's definitely not dead. I think right now you're really starting to see the thesis. If you bought or buying during this slump, kind of play out. So, yeah, and it would have been a really good time to buy during April.
Yeah,
really good.
I think I generally think below 100 you have a pretty good margin of safety with Disney. Now, at the level it's at now, you could probably say for the trajectory they're on, it's probably more or less fairly valued.
Yeah.
But I mean, then again, if they continue to do really well with expanding operating margins and so forth, it could actually be worth 150, 180, whatever.
Yeah. Channel member Dex has a question. Is that true or no?
On the desktop, no. Is there an old external hard drive somewhere? I mean,
is there a binder?
I'll take the fifth on that.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to talk TSSI?
I'm always happy to talk TSSI.
Okay, so for those who are not familiar with TSSI, it's basically this big AI company that Fiscal's invested in, and a bunch of people who are much smarter than us gave the idea for. So, Fiscal, what has been going on with TSSI? I don't follow TSSI. I'm not a TSSI junkie.
They had a giant pump.
Ooh.
And some people have been taking profits. I think that's really
people like Stabulo. Yeah.
What now?
People like Stabulo.
He actually sold
before. Yeah.
Sorry, it's usually me who gets their timing like made fun of. So I still hold it. So when it got into like the $21 range, I sold covered calls for the $25 strike expiring in July and collected a bunch of premium. I sold 10 of them and got $1,650 for that. Ooh. And this pullback that it just had basically just means I'm probably not going to get the shares called away from me. So I get to keep that premium and then continue to sit there for the next time the regards pump it up.
Free money.
It's free money. Exactly.
Yeah, this is kind of like ridiculous how much it's pumped. And it's still like long term, from my knowledge, like okay valued, right? Even though it's up 100% in the last like month.
You can hit the year to date. I'm just curious because
34%.
So yeah, that's actually where I start now. My cost basis is below where it was at the start of the year because I bought into like a bit of a dip. I think my cost basis is like around $12 or something like that. So nice. I was close to 100% gain because I also had some options. I had a couple of calls that were up a couple 100%. So I sold those, took those profits, and then sold covered calls at the 25 strike. So I suppose in a sense I'm taking some profits, but not by directly selling the shares because I do think another pump can definitely happen.
Under 8 average too. There you go.
Yeah. So I didn't hear about this stock at all last year when it was reliable. Granted, there was an opportunity to average down in April. I didn't average down all that much at that time, but I definitely wish I had gotten in way earlier when it was like $5 or $6. But
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
Microsoft is another one that's been actually really pumping for me lately.
Yeah,
I'm not selling them. That's just one I'm just gonna hold on to for like the rest of my life and not touch it.
Yeah, but TSSI is their EPS should grow very rapidly over the next few quarters. So, honestly, I could see a pump like pretty much every earnings as long as it's as good or better than what the regards think it should be.
Yeah.
But the main risk, by the way, gotta be honest about this.
AI gets cooked, right?
No.
Oh,
Not really. Like AI spend is still happening. Like there's a big race between like Google and Meta.
Starbucks. Oh. What a great time for me to pause, right as I say Starbucks.
For them, the big risk is something happens with Dell, who is their big customer.
Oh yeah.
TSSI pretty much
What
lives
percent
and
of
dies.
the? Yeah, what percent of like the revenue?
Like 100.
Oh,
or very close to 100. Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
They don't publicly disclose that it's Dell, but it's pretty well known.
Do we want to talk about our performance this year? Because that's what the topic of the video is about.
Yeah.
Portfolio performance.
This World War III sell-off kind of
it did cook it like the day before.
Jacked me up a little bit. Yeah.
Oh damn! I'm under. Yeah, I lost $560 yesterday. Awesome.
Yeah, but
I should be outperforming still. I swear.
But yeah, I do. I think I'm for sure outperforming the SPY because the SPY had to get hit.
Yeah.
Somewhat from all that.
Okay, so in the last 1 year, which obviously that's all that matters, I'm up 20.3%. The S&P's up 11%. Going year to date, I am currently up 6.8%, and the S&P's up 2% or 2.2%. So
yeah,
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, in the quote unquote value account, I'm almost identical to you, up 6.9%. But there's an account actually that I just basically started dealing with that, like basically at the beginning of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now that one is up 14.4% year to date. But that's like all like just fresh start. It just had cash in it at the beginning of the year. And so everything that's happened in there has just been this year. There's no previous history on that one.
Yeah, so
it went from like 128 to, well, now it was at like 150, but now it's at 146.6 because of the World War III stuff. But
yeah, I want to talk the World War III stuff because I'm a retard and I get it generally what's going on. Basically across the country, there's a bunch of protests now. That's not great, but what do you expect? But now the big thing is Iran bombing Israel, I want to say.
That is something. Well, Israel bombed Iran first.
Oh yeah,
and then
sorry.
Iran retaliated.
Yeah,
now some people have different takes on whether the initial thing was justified or not, and it comes in the middle of Trump was trying to make a new deal with Iran on nuclear stuff. So it kind of, he was like, I hope they don't strike them while we're still talking. It could blow it. It might help it, but it really could blow it too.
It could happen, and we don't
could blow it. I really think it could blow it, and it probably blew it.
I'm just like, I don't pay any attention to this shit, which I probably should, but like I don't stress about it. So I mean, like my knowledge of this is very taboo. I just know Palestine doesn't like Israel. Israel doesn't like Palestine. They like to bomb each other. There it is. Quote of the year.
My own personal take is that the U.S. probably ought to just limit involvement in that part of the world because it doesn't seem to go very well.
Yeah. How many Starbucks are in Iran? How many Starbucks are there? That's all I ask. And
probably zero.
Yeah, won't affect sales.
Though I unfortunately, like what I just said, unrealistic because there's oil.
Oh yeah,
that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Though we produce a lot of oil here.
We do, and we're fracking to the ground.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna drill, baby, drill. Yeah, we tire on dividends. I'm sure it's gonna.
In fact, I think if I'm not mistaken, we may actually be number one at producing oil now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard it somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, we go into World War III. we're probably cooked regardless. So I mean, I wouldn't really. The entire sell-off yesterday was because of this bombing.
So that seems to me to be like, well, why else would pretty much everything sell off at the same time?
A dividended tweet. Dividend Dude's becoming a bit of a Tesla fanboy.
I'll believe it when he puts money into Tesla. I'll believe it when he actually backs it with his money and not just his words.
Yeah, I respect that. No, but I mean, that sucks. My portfolio went down a bunch yesterday. I was probably beating you too in performance-wise, but now I'm like 0.7 away.
TSSI dropped 10%, so probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took a big hit from that. So,
what are you at year to date? 6.9.
Yeah, 6.9.
Damn,
it was like
0.7,
10, I think, before that happened.
Oh, okay, then yeah, you probably were smoking.
But the other account there at 14.4, like if you did a blended average, I'd still be around 10, I guess.
Yeah.
But either way, like I'm pretty happy with most of what I've done so far. As far as like the end of last year and the beginning of this year, intentionally setting myself up to try to make 2025 the best year that I could make it.
Oh yeah.
And so far, like when you make any comparisons, to the market and everything, it's still, I'd say definitely like my best yet. We haven't had any stocks drop 70% that I've bought or anything.
I noticed once I started really cutting like the low quality stuff and like the fat from the portfolio, that's when I started to see good performance. And when I put a lot of my money into the ideas I believed in most, Amazon, SHG, Evolution now, I'm seeing good results. Evolution's kind of like the only thing I bought like lately because everything's up. So
yeah. I think definitely moving away from things that just look cheap but are kind of going in the wrong direction.
Walgreens.
And staying away from things where management has bit off more than they can chew and don't really have a clear path forward.
Yeah. BTI is the one I'm looking at right now. That was
BTI, yeah.
That was a really good. I got in like perfect timing there because I'm already up like I want to say around 20%. I wish I would have loaded up, got like that as a core holding because that would be a great defensive play and it's performed like a mother effer.
Yeah. Like just price appreciation I have in BTI is close to 50%.
38%. I was wrong. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to. I was probably more like 40%.
Fuck.
But
why am I buying?
That's 40% plus the dividends.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
BTI is
pay a big dividend. Yeah.
Yep. Love BTI.
Okay. Vici has been like, I feel like Vici's like the last of the Mohicans in the portfolio when it comes to like stuff that I don't really. It's a bigger holding, and I think I could do better, but I don't love the valuations right now.
But
there are some plus sides that
isn't Vici beating the market this year right now so far.
I'm gonna fact check you, but yeah, I would assume.
I want to say it's up around 10 or 11%.
But so are some other holdings in the portfolio where I think I can, like Uber would be a good upgrade, I think. But at the same time, I do like some of the stuff that VG offers. I think it's more defensive. I like real estate.
But I don't know if Andrew is in the chat tonight, but he was mentioning that high quality REITs might be a good thing to look at right now.
Okay.
Because the market's still pretty volatile with all the things going on, and a lot of REITs are still relatively attractively valued. And if rates come down, the yield on cost you're going to get now might be pretty darn good.
Okay. My yield on cost is already solid. Like I am up. It's not crazy, but I'm up 7%.
Like on your down days, is Vici down less than everything else?
I would say so.
Yeah. So
I haven't had many down days lately, to be fair.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons why, like, that was actually one of the purposes of why I got BTI, actually, because it's like, hey, even on like the days where everything is down, it's down a little bit less.
Yeah.
In fact, actually on Friday, BTI was up a tad, even though everything else was down.
Mm-hmm.
So those in a year where stuff is a little bit cattywampus and there's like a lot of crazy volatile red days, you want a few things in your portfolio that are kind of keeping you afloat.
Yeah. Have you bought Jackson Financial?
So I have an outstanding cash secured put that is now in the money. So I have probably a better than 50% chance of getting assigned the 100 shares.
Nice.
And if I'm not assigned the 100 shares and the price hasn't gone up much, I may just outright buy them.
Yeah.
Because
wow, what a quote of the year right now. Over this channel, best thing since canned beer. That's getting submitted to quote of the year. Thank you to Joe. It's definitely going in.
Definitely. That's a strong statement, and I stand by it. I like that.
Yeah. If you really want to back up that talk, then buy a channel membership. But I see how it is. I understand that not everybody has the great finances that we do here on the Cash Flow Kings and the sugar day.
Yeah. I mean, if we had, say, 50 to 60 channel members, that would go a long way.
Right now we have like 14 or 15, so we gotta do a better job of atonement.
Those are rookie numbers.
I mean, honestly, we did pretty good with super chat, so I mean it's kind of evening out. Like revenue wise, we're having a good month still. Don't worry. $40 month. Hate to brag. Yeah, this doesn't count, but we do appreciate Dex for being it's true. We don't have a bunch of low income people watching this channel. We're high value. So is Kamara around? What happened?
I have no idea.
Is he gone? Okay.
I have very minimal mental bandwidth to spend on clowns like that.
Yeah. Dude, Buffett left again.
I saw him say, I made a mistake even coming back, and I asked what happened, but like I had to go somewhere, and
you were too late. And then he disappeared.
What he had said, but yeah, I'm kind of sad that Buffett left again. I liked that guy.
He doesn't like me.
It's funny because like I used to I feel like he and I used to like clash a little, but I think there's more respect now for some reason.
He doesn't like me for some reason.
It's because you talk trash.
Yeah, I will openly say this, and Dividended can say, because me and Rezi on the Discord were talking about Kalshi, and they posted something like questionable, and he said it mostly. And he's like, this is the stuff that grifters, in quotation, which is, I don't think Dividend is a grifter, I've said that before, are promoting. I just responded as simple, you're just jealous, dude. Because it's a teasing joke. Me and Rezi are good fella friends. Not like that. So then I'm playing basketball all day. I'm hooping, I'm dicing people up on the court. And this guy's like, I'd never be your friend. You probably talk shit on your real friends. Nobody wants to be your. It's like, shut the fuck up. For Christ's sake, stop overthinking everything. You can't live like this. And I had to defend myself a little bit.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what about. I mean, I saw that all that stuff you're talking about with the you're just jealous and everything. I don't know why that would set off Buffett so much.
I don't know. I thought it was funny. I was under a park gazebo.
But that's why I asked him that. I was like, I'm just wondering, like, why he was so up in his feelings or whatever about it.
You don't want to see my jump shot. Yeah, I don't know either.
Hey, become a channel member and request it on the members only.
He is a channel member. I could.
Oh, is he?
I don't. Oh, I don't have filming of it. You
If
don't want
you
to
request it
not
as a
become a
channel
channel member after seeing it. He'll No, but he messaged me after he left the first time. He's like, I know when I'm not wanted. It's like
it's just a Discord, bro. It's not that deep.
It's just a Discord. Like,
if I get annoyed, I just don't pay attention to it for a while.
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, but then again, I'm the age I am, and
yeah,
I've learned to let things go.
Yeah. Would you invest in Tinder or Hinge?
No. Well, they're all owned by Match Group, so it's all one company.
Actually,
for the most part, yeah. There might be some that aren't, but like the vast majority of all dating app market is cornered by Match Group.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is jump shot in if you for trying? No, it is not. Blake, I was actually playing basketball. I'm a tan fella today. Tan means red. Oh, next week's episode is going to be pre-recorded, everybody. So apologize, but I'm out of town.
And it's probably not the Raj Grover episode yet.
It isn't the Raj Grover. We're going to try to get that in like a week or two. So we'll keep you updated. But the nice thing about some of these pre-recorded episodes is like you can get people who aren't usually available on Saturdays. So we're going to try and get a special guest who notoriously can't come on Saturdays. So we'll figure it out.
It'll be a special treat, guys.
It does. All right. I'll give you guys 5-minute warning. Any comments, questions, concerns? Because usually the 5-minute warning will lead to like 15 or 20 more minutes of dialogue. If anybody has any questions or comments, anything you want us to talk about, give us super chats, give us channel memberships, give us money. We will dance for Seymour Duck too. So while you guys get those questions and thoughts and holdings, we will do the dance. Oh, did you buy Warrior Matt Cole?
I bought a tracker share. Yeah. I mean, that was what Blake had recommended. So
yeah,
but it's in the bullpen.
There you go. Maybe I'll start a 1% holding, but like I want to get cash right now. All right, you ready?
Oh shit! There you go. Round two. Here we go.
It's plenty for tonight.
Yeah, it's plenty.
It's true. Retire. That's why you should give us channel memberships. Who would admit that to a non-channel member? Us. Maybe not fiscal with me. I admit to that, and I'm proud of it.
Are you proud of it though?
Proud of it. Okay, something that mind boggles me is how easy some people give their body away.
Is that like a personal attack on me, right?
No, not you. No.
I'm just kidding.
No. I was talking about. I have a friend, and we did a little experiment last night, and it was just basically a game to see, because he broke up with his lady friend, and it was a game to see how fast you can get some action, but we weren't going to actually go. And after like an hour of a random ad on social media, he got the invite over. It's just diabolical.
Wow, an hour? That's pretty quick.
It's sad. It's a sad generation I live in. I'm a lifetime channel. No, you're not. I have to. I don't understand, Gil. I don't want to put these comments up either because that's a pathway to demonetization that I'm just not willing to. Yeah, do it the right way. That's what heck yeah. So, what's your investing mindset or strategy?
Oh, no.
We're not reading that one out. We are not
By
putting
the
these
way,
comments.
that's not true.
Channel members have the test results. We've posted them before.
I could upload my last results for the channel members if they really wanted it. Although blood tests aren't like generally like super effective for that. You would have to have like a mysterious thing show up, and they would have to like directly test the mysterious thing that shows up on your skin. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't ask why I know all this.
What are you doing investing wise? Are you trying to build up cash? Are you buying the World War III 1% dip? What's going on?
World War III 1%. Honestly, like I have a good amount of sidelined cash. What I'm looking for right now are some opportunities for to build up maybe like 10 or 15% in leaps options on high conviction plays, because that kind of magnifies returns. Like on TSSI, I mentioned I had some options on there where I realized an over 200% gain. I had a bearish option trade on Kathy Wood's ETF that I gained over 100% on earlier this year too. So
that's wow.
Yeah, no, I had puts on ARC. Yeah. But
smart man.
But like I only use a very small, because options are obviously, they magnify both your upside and your downside, right? So like if you take the wrong position, you can lose just as fast. So like position sizing is pretty important in that you want it to be a smaller piece of the overall pie in case you're incorrect on something.
Yeah.
But
the small spec plays are fun.
But like leaps on something like, Google, or where it just has to go up a certain amount over the next year, when we have a high conviction in that business and it's still not it's not near its all-time high yet.
Yeah.
Still it's lagging a little bit on getting there, but I think it will probably in the next year or so.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about tonight. Did you see the Tom Lee tweet? The guy asking him to report. It was the funniest thing ever this week.
I'm not sure if I saw it or not.
Okay, so I'm pulling it up right now. I want to talk about that and then remind me about Starbucks' whole AI thing. Okay, so this guy responded. It's Tom Lee, basically. He was getting roasted by this guy. I'm going to try and find it. This guy just roasted Tom Lee. And Tom Lee basically was kind of a wussy about it. He's like, this breaks the community service. Or like, he was saying something like that. Like, isn't this violate the community service guidelines? Here we go. He said, this is funny. He said, someone told me Tom Lee likes them younger even than Peter Schiff does.
Okay, so I get the Peter Schiff thing, because he made a series of very questionable statements that you should not make.
Yeah. So Tom Lee didn't like that, and everybody was just going in the comment section. It was hilarious. So then dividend dude said, responded, reported for you, Tom. Not the dividend guy. It was the funniest thing ever, and that just deserves to be talked about. And then Starbucks is also now become an AI company. Do you know that?
Yes, I heard.
Starbucks is rolling out Microsoft Azure AI. I can't believe I'm seeing this, but Brian, yeah, this is one of the most stupid fucking things ever. Smells a lot like, how much of this human interaction can we eventually automate without everyone freaking out? So yeah, Starbucks is AI. Starbucks and Nvidia are basically same things now. So yeah.
Wow. All right. Time to pay 60 times earnings for Starbucks, guys.
It's true. And then the last thing, this is the funniest thing I think I've also seen this week. This guy was asked his biggest regret, and I have to show this.
Your biggest regret in life?
Not providing enough shareholder value.
He's just got a grin on his face.
That's
I don't know who that
amazing.
was, but it was just a random old guy. It was the funniest thing ever. All right. We are an hour in, everybody. So we appreciate that everybody tuned in. We have 84 people watching between Twitter and YouTube. So it was nice to get back on Twitter.
Indeed. Drop a follow, by the way.
Yeah, drop a follow if you haven't already. We post some good stuff throughout the week. So yeah,
that Twitter money could help bolster us.
It could help us. So we'll take anything at this point. We'll dance for dollars. Thank you once again to Seymour Duck for becoming a channel member. We appreciate it. Thank you everybody that tuned in. Gil, we tire on dividends and herpes. Dax, Blake, Joe, Seymour again. Why not? PK, it was a good time. All right. Thanks all for watching. Smash the like, unsubscribe. Do dividend stocks, and of course, cash flow is king. Oh, yeah.